right, what up, everybody? This is Am Root, and up next with our next interview for Love 2021, I got my guy Stone on sax. If you don't know, man, a really dope musician, dope mind, has put a lot of work in with the Am Root brand and in the Phoenix community in general, just working with the likes of the Am Root Collective, members of Vibe Lane, Ronnie Dijon. The list really goes on. Yeah, I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
to have you here, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, man. Appreciate you having me here. It's a great opportunity to always collaborate with you, knowing that you one of the young up and coming, if not already here, artists and entrepreneurs of our community. So appreciate you.
Hey, well, I appreciate the kind words, man. I'm just doing my part in the community, and using the gifts that God gave me to kind of be a resource to others. But no, man, I'm definitely glad to have you here. We're still trying to keep the love alive, if you will. This is going to be our seventh year doing the love event. This time virtually. So I'm just glad to have you on, talk to you, and get some of you know, your story. Really, just kind of talking through some of our viewers about your journey to music. When did it start, and how has it been going?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I guess, music has always been a part of my life. I remember India Ari did this song that I've always embraced as a staple. She says, music is always in my head.
Mm,
I can hear the violins of an airplane traveling through the sky, or, the birds chirping, but music is always around. And so
right.
I'm thankful to have that reignited as I
Mm,
come to Phoenix, because as many people have heard my story, that I was almost like on a 20-year hiatus. It didn't mean the music was gone, but in terms of me actively engaged with it, it felt like it was gone. So,
mm,
getting back here in Phoenix helped me to start getting back in the swing of doing some things that I know I've loved.
mm. Got you. So, would you say the hiatus was you like on purpose taking a break, or was it something that you just really got busy and kind of tied up with just regular
Busy,
life?
busy life, man, different priorities, not feeling really as confident in the music world, and just, letting the horn or vocally, I might do something occasionally, but nowhere near how I am now. And it was far and few between in terms of how often I was involved with music. And so it's definitely uh, picked back up, within the last 5 years. Quite honestly, after meeting Tyndall Music, who's also
Yeah.
somebody that we know and we work with.
Right.
And so after
Just
where
been
I met you,
yeah.
actually, in Johnny Rio's house, we were just all coming together that one day, and that was an opportunity for us to build a relationship, and we're still on that journey.
Right, right. Yeah, man, and it's been dope. Honestly, just watching everybody kind of grow and seeing their music develop, and even where they wanting to take their brands and and kind of grow things. So talk about some of what you've been having going on. That's really where I was going with that. I know that even yourself, since touching down in Phoenix and working with a number of artists, you've kind of I won't say reinvented, but like I feel like just some of like you kind of brought back to life one of your businesses, and you kicked off some other new ideas. And yeah, if you can, man, share some of that with us.
And still working on it. So Get Ready Entertainment is a brand that I'd started some years back, but again, just like my playing of music, it was on a hiatus. But I officially 2020, the year of building our vision
Hmm.
and preparing for the road ahead, I was able to really finally establish the LLC. Glad of that. And so, I got that under a training and consultation brand, and the DBA under Get Ready Entertainment. So we're building on that, working on a website, getting that established. And under that brand, we've been doing a number of different things. Many of the people who I've met after, just working with people like yourselves and the folks that kind of are a part of that circle started with Tyndall. It's been through a number of names, so I won't go through the list of names. The open mic that we sponsored has been
Hmm.
under, but currently is under Friday Night Live AZ. And we kind of still, even if we go back on the street, it'd probably be Friday Night Live AZ at the Culture
Culture
Corner,
Corner.
assuming
Okay.
if we go back on 4th and Roosevelt, where many of you may have met us. So
Yeah.
that's something that DJ Sands and myself, we collaborate on, bring in a number of new artists, but then also have a platform for seasoned artists to be a part of it too. So
Mm-hmm.
it really opens the door for both coming together, maybe working on networking and collaborating,
Yeah.
and seeing from beginning to a more seasoned approach of the artistry. Currently, obviously, under this auspice of COVID, we're still doing a show every other week. We'll be starting our next show, hopefully this Thursday,
Okay.
with another virtual Thursday segment. And DJ Sands and I'll just be kicking it off with no featured artists this particular week, but just kind of welcoming people back into the swing of things.
Okay.
Yep. And continuing down the line, Just Common, that's a band. Actually, we're playing tonight.
Oh,
We'll
nice.
be playing down at Golden Margarita. So if this might be over, but you might not be seeing this by the time that comes out. But
Right.
often on Tuesdays, we play down at Golden Margaritas, which is right there on Fourth and Roosevelt, actually
Oh, okay.
across the street from where we used to do the shows.
Oh,
And
nice,
so,
nice.
so
Is
that's
that?
interesting how that worked
Oh,
out.
I think I know what that's at. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the old Paz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And so if you're familiar with Paz, that's the location for that. And it's kind of a band showcase.
Okay.
And so that's again something that's been going on for a couple of months, and we've been a part of it. And so that's been something that's kept the band. Right now, we have a drummer known as Cooney, our keyboard player, Sam Wesley Nelson. Picked up a bass player. He goes by Lloyd, and just
Okay.
recently a cellist.
Oh,
And
nice.
so my hope is to build some sounds and create some unique experiences with that collaboration. And we're looking to play all genres.
Okay.
The name Just Common is centered around let's celebrate our uniquenesses, just celebrate our differences in a way that it isn't necessarily viewed as so different, but that it becomes common that we appreciate the differences. And
Right.
so thus our name, Just Common.
Okay. I like that. And I had a note here, man, to ask you about Get Ready Entertainment and how you came about with that.
You know, I felt that Get Ready, first of all, would stand the test of time, and it applies to so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's no secret that I operate from a faith-based background. I praise God, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. All of that is a part of
Yes,
my
sir.
framework. I can say honestly, without God, I have no existence. And life is so much better, so much sweeter when you have a personal fellowship with God. And so Get Ready was centered around that. Get ready for what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready what can happen, what opportunities you might have if you find a foundation in something that would give you peace in a storm, that would give you hope in darkness, give you light in the shadows, whatever the circumstance is. But get ready for this new experience. Get ready for something that hopefully transform you, that taps into a number of your senses rather than limiting it. So,
Okay.
I want to explore. I don't like to just stay stagnant. So I want to try different things,
Got
use
you.
different instruments, use different. I mean, I come from a background, growing up in the 70s, I'm definitely a fan of funk.
Uh-huh.
The Gap Band, Earth, Wind, and
Oh, yeah.
Fire, the legends, James Brown, Stevie Wonder is at the top of the list.
Okay.
That's one of
Okay.
my favorite artists. Prince, but all of the people who kind of make that background. But then I also come from a jazz background, but more of an R&B jazz. David Sanborn, Grover Washington Jr. But then let's go to back some serious jazz. John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk. You see
Okay.
Miles Davis on,
Yep.
on, on the back right here in this picture. So, some of that real stuff. Freddie Hubbard, people y'all probably ain't even thought about hearing about, Wes
Right.
Montgomery, that George Benson comes through. George Benson living right here in the city, all that music. But then I also am exposed to people like, and I know a lot of people ain't heard of this cat, Andreas Vollenweider. This
Mm.
is a Swiss harp player,
Oh wow.
and traveled the world, uses all kinds of instrumentations, played with a whole bunch of different people. Michael Brecker with Steps Ahead, one of the coldest saxophone players that existed,
Right.
multi
It's
Grammy Award winning saxophone player. So all
mm,
of those experiences bottled up, I think, helped expose me. And then I also listened to opera,
mm-hmm.
Luciano Pavarotti, um, did tapping into some of that aspect of things too. And so there's so much out there. There's so much color. We just have
Right.
to, have the door open for the palette. But then I also think, in the spirit of Christ, that we should show love without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And so music is a vehicle for me to connect and build relationships with other people that I can share. Well, this is how I feel that you can have a life that's driven by peace. But the music is the connector.
Mm-hmm.
It's the means to communicate, to build relationships with people that I might be able to share my perspective on life and learn also from them. So it's an opportunity for us to communicate through music, but then also build a genuine relationship too.
Nice. That's real powerful, man. And I wanted to stop you, but you were listing off some really good stuff. But I was gonna ask you actually too, if you have any favorite like sax or horn players, one
I just
like all time, and then any current like people that you've been checking out. If you,
that's
maybe your
crazy. I
like
don't even
top
know.
two, if you could even top three.
I don't even know any current players really, quite honestly, man. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Brecker is definitely one up there. John Coltrane is clearly up there. Cannonball Adderley, David Sanborn. Now, David Sanborn is still playing. Actually, he's been doing a YouTube video during this pandemic where he brings in different artists. So I guess current, if you want to call David Sanborn, but he's also from the 70s.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
but definitely a great player. But in terms of newer players outside of that, can't really call off any.
Okay, okay. Well, at least one that I listen to or I have been listening to for like the last decade is Terrace Martin. I would definitely try to send you a link or something, and you can let me know what you think about him. He's a
That's a
music,
sax player?
yeah, sax, but he's a music producer too. So a lot of West Coast kind of G funk sounding
Right.
music. But yeah, he produces some of his own stuff as well. And then Masego, he has a lot of popular music that plays sax.
Yeah. And I know of him, and see, I wasn't even going to touch on him, so I ain't going to knock on him. I mean, he plays a saxophone, but is he a saxophone? I don't even know, for the most part, if I would say if you look at it from a standpoint, because there's all different levels, but
Hmm.
I'm not a jazz saxophonist. The
Hmm.
lines I play really don't fit that category for a true pure jazz musician.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm more. I think people also often assume that if you got a saxophone or trumpet in your hand or something, that automatically associates with jazz. Well, you can't just call it jazz just because. If anything, I probably play more R&B and hip hop, just play
Hmm.
saxophone to it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And I was just kind of getting a take on just general favorite like horn players. So even if it's not specific to the genre, I know a lot of people out in the world are trying to do super creative things, or
Right, right.
it may veer away from traditional sets of values or anything like that.
Talking about non-traditional players, Jacob Collier.
Yeah, okay,
Uh,
okay. I was waiting for that one too. I was gonna bring him up next, so I know I got
yeah,
a
yeah,
couple of
yeah. I love
DMs
that
from him.
brother. I mean,
Yeah.
he does some crazy stuff, and they talking about a brother that knows some theory. And
Hmm.
when you get the likes of Quincy Jones and Stevie Wonder, like trying to hang with the brother, he got to have some skills.
Right.
And so that's a cool brother. And then why can't I think of his name? But the brother that's kind of like James Blake,
Hmm. Okay.
another one with some cool vibes.
And he's a musician
Great.
as well, or
Yeah,
mainly
yeah, yeah.
vocals.
He was a
Okay.
piano player, vocalist.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
known. He was originally a classical piano player, and then he branched out into DJing. But now he does a lot of arrangements for different people, collab with all
Hmm.
kind of folks. But James Blake. Both of these are British guys that have some kind of similar vibe to some degree. So it wouldn't be interesting if they came from the same school or something, because
Hmm.
they definitely have some cool vibes.
Yeah, and another guy. I think his name is like he's from out that way too. A black gentleman. I believe his name is Sanfa, SAMFA or PHA or something like that. But he
Oh,
plays
okay.
piano as well. Has kind of a similar singing tone as like James Blake.
Okay. Well,
Um,
definitely hit me to some of those. I love that where, we can collab and get different exposure to different artists because there's so many artists out there I don't know. And I don't know their names. So I'm not saying there's no new artists out here that doing some wonder work because I
mhm,
like the neo soul stuff, the Lena
mhm.
Baraz,
Oh yeah,
love
yeah,
her stuff. I
yeah.
just haven't really listened to a lot of the new music out here, but there's some great collaborations
Yeah, it's a
going
lot of
on.
music, a lot of good music. Ari Lennox and just a lot of people out here really using their voices in like just really powerful ways, or just getting really creative with it, and just testing out the instrument. And that's
Right.
always fun to hear with some, along with
I
some
hear
good.
great things about Kendrick Lamar, for example, that he exposes himself to different things. I only heard a
Hmm.
couple of his pieces that I really liked, but again, oh, I can't believe that I couldn't think of the one saxophone player that were actually playing his song, Kamasi Washington. Definitely
Oh
a
yeah,
modern guy.
yeah, yeah.
And we're literally playing one of his tracks. So out of LA,
Oh
definitely
yeah, oh
a
yeah.
great saxophone player and visionary as he has
Hmm.
like, hey, I want to get to that level where I can have an orchestra.
Right,
That's where we're
right.
going.
And just really like flesh out those ideas and all the different things that you come up with. You could bring them alive and just kind of implement various sounds and things that, from a normal band standpoint, you wouldn't be able to do. That would be crazy.
Right.
That'd be
Well,
dope.
we're not done. Part of what I want to do, what happened? Part of what I want to do is be a part of creating what's called the Dream Sequence, which is a project that I still haven't let go of. So,
Yes, sir.
that's part of the vision, which is going to be like a actual show,
Hmm.
a production of several artists coming together. I won't give you all the secrets now, but that's
Hmm.
something that is still in the plans to develop.
Nice. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And I'll definitely be looking forward to that. I got a little sample of what's to come. And that's extremely exciting. One thing that I want to throw out there, given that 2020, a lot of 2020 and some of 2021, a lot of it's been spent in the crib. Our love celebration is going to be from the crib. Um, Anything you've been listening to, or any shows you've been watching, or do you watch shows? Like what you've been doing with a lot of the
No, man,
home
I
time?
really don't watch really shows. You talking about like um, Instagram live shows or?
Nah, just Netflix, Hulu,
Oh, bruh,
HBO,
I just
anything good
watched
you've
the
been.
movie. I don't know if you've seen this Russell Crowe movie, Unhinged.
Oh
If you
nah,
haven't seen it, bruh, I'm giving. When I
I'm
tell
gonna
you
write
this
it down.
movie is crazy, Russell Crowe tripping in that one. He had the level of like Joker in the Batman, and I'm
Okay.
talking about both of them. He done went a little wild up in this, gained all this weight, and
Okay.
but definitely on the violent side. So it's kind of an opposite, but it was definitely a well directed
Yeah.
and
Okay.
produced movie.
Got
But
that on
then
there.
so there's different things that I've seen on television. I just watched Super Bob. You're talking about Netflix, but that was an interesting British show. But
Okay.
nonetheless, so occasionally I definitely get out there. Antebellum, if you haven't seen that one, definitely a
Okay.
great picture that has a twist on the end. Um, so I mean, I like everything from comedies. I definitely have watched Netflix. But one of the things that's been occupying as you were talking about what's going on currently, bro, I've been looking at this stock market.
Oh man, no, for sure. It's been these last 7 days has been interesting, man.
Yeah, the GameStop. Now I didn't get now the thing that I want to hit myself about is because for one, talking about different things I'm doing, and we started a family investment club and we're actually in our fifth year.
Oh, nice.
And
Congrats.
this is family across the country, and we're investing as much as $50 a month. But if you got 15 people investing $50 a month, and some do 100 or what have you, that's a pool of money that collectively we can build, and we just have a little more leverage on buying stocks
Mhm.
collectively.
Right.
um, be better positioned to do that than doing it individually. But I then also started me a separate little TD Ameritrade with the little bitty pennies I got. And because I've learned now to try to follow trends,
Mm-hmm.
Just in December, I was like, people are at home. What are some of the things they're probably doing? And it came across my mind is people are playing video games.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
literally was looking at GameStop
Right.
in December, but I
Ooh.
didn't buy any shares, man. How many stories probably do you hear like that? Man, I thought
Oh
about
yeah.
doing it and I
Oh yeah.
didn't do it. But you had to get in, get out because today the
Honestly.
GameStop went up, I guess, as high as like $400 at one point. It was holding at $325 for a while, but it was like $60 today. It's got
Oh.
75, $60 a day. So it wasn't something long term.
Right, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah. You have to get in and get out definitely because I even had I didn't have GameStop, but I had AMC from a month or two ago, and they didn't jump up quite like GameStop, but they had I think when I got it, it was like $2, and then it went up to like 17, 18, $20 somewhere around there.
Did you cash out
I
before it went back down? Because it went back down today.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
So you got out in time.
Yes, sir.
See,
I
I
was
was looking at AMC too, but I didn't buy any stocks either. Another one. I bought one at $14 and I'm already
Oh
in bed
right.
on that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't playing with too much though, so it's just it ain't too
You
much
you
because
and me both.
you know.
You and me both. And they changed the game hard now because Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, them froze it. They won't even allow you to buy it. It's talking about they protecting you. So right
Oh
now, that's a
yeah.
big issue too, because it's like, well, how can free trade not be free trade? How do you have the power? So it's like people who are doing these short sales, because I've learned about it,
Mhm.
that now they're upset. So they put the pressure on some of these brokerages
Right.
and and really I think what it was like it was a revolution, if you will.
Honestly, like they little game got found out, and they just got to go back and refigure it out because people figured out what was going on and how to impact that.
Right, which I thought was cool for the little guy,
Yeah, for sure, for
that
sure.
they could potentially make some money, because right now, big corporations, they'll say they're not doing insider trading, but you can't even access any public shares until there's a certain threshold that's reached, because they
Right.
have access before it's fully made public. That's
Right.
not right. How's that really fair trade?
Yeah.
So that's definitely been current on my mind.
Yep. No, same here, man. Same here. And I just been keeping my eyes open, for what's to come and how I can be involved and just also just understanding the risk with it all too. I'm not putting everything I got into it, but I am
Right.
at least participating. If there's money to be
Awesome.
made, I want to say that I made a little something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, is if there's a message we can put out, is don't be frightened about it. Get involved with the process so you can learn about it. Be it real estate, be it stock investing, and tell your kids. One of the things that one of my cousins did, which I thought was awesome, he said when his son was 15 years old, he gave him a credit card in his name that he can use and pay off and understand the importance of credit. But he
Mhm.
started establishing his credit at 15.
Mhm.
So by the time he gets out of school and college, he's already got a credit score that would allow him to be positioned to buy a house
Mhm.
at 20.
Mhm. Yeah. No. Definitely. There's some benefit to being, introduced to that world earlier.
Right.
That's and just instead of skeptical, because typically we come up just skeptical around things that involve money. Are they about to take my money? Is it
Right.
just like things like that? But just being more informed and more educated around the ins and outs and the different options and opportunities. To at least allow you to make more comforted and more informed decisions.
No, that's real. Because we generally just don't have the conversations about it. We weren't raised that way. So we want to change that framework. Let's talk about finances. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about this stuff collectively so that we can be healthier. Let's
Hmm.
talk about eating healthy.
Right, for sure. Yeah,
you know,
no.
all of those things that we can be a little more actively engaged in.
Yeah, and some of the things that we all have to, like the things that require us to look internally and make changes, are often going to be difficult things to have
Right.
conversations about. But I think that it's definitely worth it, because not everybody, but a lot of people like to stand on what they grew up on, if you will. It's just like I know this is what I know, and I like to stick to it. But sometimes, adapting and learning to change and kind of grow and evolve and adjust with the times. With the same knowledge of the past in mind. You know what I'm saying, so that you're able to kind of implement it and continue it and grow and evolve.
Right. Growth is important. There's a scripture in Isaiah that talks about iron sharpens iron. We need each other to sharpen one another's ability to understand and process information in order that we truly would become wise. I got a couple groups, men's group that I'm part of, a young men's group, another group through church. Also a part of Roosevelt Road Arts District Advisory Council. So that's something that, artists, it's open. So, usually the fourth Wednesday of the
Mm-hmm.
month, about 4 o'clock, artists can join this consortium to connect with visual artists as well as other musical artists and learn about opportunities if there's grants available through the state or the city.
Mm-hmm.
Also potentially having the opportunity to network with some of the area business in that Roosevelt Road district area. And so, I encourage you all to be a part of that. Contact me, stoneonsax@gmail, or Get Ready Entertainment at Gmail. Either way, you can reach out to me and I can give you some more information about how to get involved.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I'll be sure to make sure we have links and stuff available for everybody to access that, man. I definitely want to thank you for your time and you hopping in this call for our Love 2021 celebration. Definitely looking forward to getting back to the events. Hopefully sometime here in the summer, we'll get some actual Iron Root live stuff going. And I'll definitely be looking forward to having you involved with that.
Awesome. I look forward to it, man. We always make good music together. So let's keep live music alive.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.